Hi, this is Yoga by Beka. I'm Beka, and this is my dog Mabel. You'll see her later. I am a middle-aged woman that does yoga in her living room, and through the process of learning yoga, I welcome you to try to do yoga along with me. And like and subscribe and leave a comment if you'd like to build a community. Start out in hero's pose or crisscross applesauce, whatever feels better for you. And just start meditating. Regulate your breath. Fully let yourself become one and yoked with your body. Now slowly get up onto all fours on your tabletop position, and we'll start our wrist warm up. Shoulders above wrists, knees underneath hips. Start off by just gently rocking back to sit on your heels and then forward, sending the shoulders over the wrists. Let your fingertips face one another and rock side to side a few times. And then place the fingertips to point towards your knees, exploring the space. Straighten the legs into plank position. Lower a bit, warming up the arms and the wrists. Do a few circles, or if you'd like, some figure eights. Just get your wrists nice and warmed up. Catch a wave and curl up forward into upward facing dog. Tuck your chin and then lean back on your heels. Do this a few times to warm your back up. Sort of a variation of cat-cow a bit. Walk your hands in front of you into puppy pose, lowering your chest down to the mat to get a full opening and stretch in your shoulders. Lean forward and transition into plank position. Tuck your tail. Think about your breath and just hang out. Move your feet together and then turn onto your right hand, doing a side plank. Left arm goes high in the sky. Push your hips up, tighten the core. Put both hands down and let's do a side plank on the other side. Going on the razor's edge of your right foot, stacking the left on top of the right. Left arm goes high in the sky. Push your hips up. Now back to regular plank. Tuck your chin and lean your hips upward and back into downward facing dog, opening up those shoulders, letting them fall away from your ears, pushing your chest to be a bit closer to the tops of your thighs. Take your dog for a walk. Your heels don't have to touch the back of the mat. Try to straighten out that back into a long slide down to the ground. Catch a wave and curl your body up and forward, lowering the hips down through into upward facing dog. Tuck your chin and then curl back into downward facing dog. Get high on the toes and then catch a wave and curl forward again into plank position, then lower the hips down into upward facing dog. And again, do this several times, just getting an all-over warm-up movement throughout your entire body. Slowly lift the right leg up into three-legged dog, pushing your chest against closer to your left thigh. Rise up on your left toes and then slowly pull that right knee through to your right armpit, then your left armpit, right wrist, then your left wrist. Pull it in close to your chest and then back to your right armpit. Flex the foot and then step it on the outside of your right hand. Lower that left hip and leg down into lizard lunge. Find some movement here, slowly opening those groin muscles. You can bounce, pulse, or lower the knee down and completely lower down onto your forearms, swaying left and right however your body feels is good to open up that center area, getting the deepest stretch, awakening your body. Lower the left knee down, then pull it back up again. Then when ready, set it down, move your hips back a little bit, and take that right arm, pull it up over your head behind you to catch your left foot on the pinky side, rotating that right arm back, grabbing that left foot, arch your back a little bit, try to pull your foot in a little bit closer towards those hips. Relax completely as you do this. Don't force anything. Just find all the different spaces available to open up and to breathe into that left thigh. Slowly release arm over the head into the front. Your right hand goes forward. Pull your left foot through. Hips are off the mat. And slowly lower down. Rock back onto your back. Left leg is up, right leg is extended. Internally rotate your hips and externally. Rotate slightly internally again, and then crunch forward. Do it as many times as your abs need. Don't let your shoulder blades hit the ground. Just pulse, and then slowly hold as long as you can. Rock forward. Pull that left foot back into your lizard lunge. Then flip your right foot over your left leg into Wild Thing, arching your back, looking up and over. Right arm is over the head. Flip back over, stepping the right foot forward. Then with both knees bent, pull up into crescent lunge. Your left knee is only a few inches above the mat, hovering. If you need stability, imagine pressing your inner thighs towards each other. Rotate and place your left hand in front of you, right arm and back into a twist. Breathing, keeping the core tight. Then bend over onto your left side, Skandasana. Right foot is out. You can point and flex your foot as necessary. Then straighten both legs. Turn to face the short end of the mat. On your right foot, let your left foot hover above and try to do Warrior 3. Keyword is try. I have trouble with balance in doing this, so I'm just trying to make progress here. Slowly lower that left foot down, and let's go into tree pose. You can do your foot on the upper part of your leg or your calf, whatever your balance is allowing you to do today. As long as your foot isn't on your knee, you have to protect your knee. Once you get your balance, push open your hips. Hips go forward, left knee goes backwards. Now slowly cross your left foot over the right knee above the knee and slowly bend down into standing pigeon, opening the hip even more so, hands at heart center. As you feel more secure and stable, slowly lower your hips even lower still. Left foot is very flexed, protecting the knee. Now step back up and extend that left foot out. If you need stability, grab your toe or your ankles. Now slowly lower, step the leg behind you and let it float up, or you can actually just do triangle pose. Both feet pointed for the top of the mat. Breathe in, look up halfway. Exhale, bend back over that right knee that's in front of you. Pulling your hips back. Really enjoying the stretch in your hamstrings. If you want to explore the space around you and the different ways to stretch all the sides of your muscles, walk to the left, walk to the right, bend back over, forward, fold. With your left hand down on the inside of your right foot, reach up with your right hand to do a side twist. Arm goes in front of you, then down. Face the short side of the mat, heels are out wider than the toes into a center forward straddle fold. If you want, you can do a handstand, or you can just sit your head on the ground if you're feeling that way. Lift up, breathing in, halfway flat back. Pull your knees inward, toes pointing outward, sort of like a wide second position. Sink your hips down, try to tuck the tail, the back as straight as possible into goddess pose, hands at heart center. Try to sink your hips even lower to build strength in your thigh muscles. Bounce a few times up and down. Straighten the legs. Pull the toes inward. Slowly lower down into center straddle. Then sit on your right heel in Skandasana. Left leg out, toes flexed to the ceiling. Step your left foot behind the right, leaning over. Slowly shift that right leg out. We're going to try to stretch our outer thigh muscles on the side. Straighten that left leg a little bit deeper, just trying to shift the hips over towards the left, really feeling a deep stretch in that left outside thigh muscle. If you need to, you can come up on the edges of your feet, flexing them deeply. Take the left foot and now extend it out towards the right side in front of the right foot, stretching out the outside of that right thigh leg. Place the feet on the back of the mat and get into a downward facing dog position. Catch a wave and roll your spine forward into plank position. Shift forward slightly. Bend the elbows, keep them close to the rib cage. Lower down, chaturanga. Pull up, upward facing dog. Tuck the chin and curl the hips upward and back into downward facing dog. Curl your spine upward into plank, then lower the hips all the way down into upward facing dog, then lower the tops of the legs down, lower the body down, hands go in front of you, elbows under shoulders into Sphinx pose. Push yourself up into plank, then transition back into downward facing dog. Lift the left leg up high, stand up on your right toes, then pull that left knee in and through to your left armpit, then your left wrist, right armpit, center body, flex that left foot, and step it out on the outside of your left hand. Lower down your hips into lizard lunge, bouncing up and down, opening up your groin area. For even a deeper stretch, lower your elbows down to the mat, intensifying the opening of the groin area. Just focus on breathing in and out. Let the left arm go up and over the head, reaching backwards to grab your right foot on the side of the pinkies so that you can externally rotate that left shoulder fully. Arch your back a bit. Lift your head up. Slowly pull the foot a little closer to your hips. Allow your left knee to fall over to the left side as you're pulling that right foot in closer towards your hips. Slowly release. Left arm goes up and over, back down to the ground, back to your lizard lunge. Then shift your hips back a bit. Pull your right foot through to the front of you. Grab your toe if you need to. Don't let your bum touch the ground quite yet. Then lower down. Rock back onto your back. Right foot is in the air. Left foot extends out front of you. And just start pulsing again. Let's open up our ab muscles and get them going. Just pulse towards your right knee. Not letting your shoulders, your shoulder blades make contact with the mat. Then crunch forward and hold for a few moments, then roll back up. Right leg is extended in front of you. Step it through and back behind you again into your lizard lunge position. Left foot in front of you. Then take that left foot and step it over the right and do a wild thing pose. Your left arm is over. You're facing the ceiling. Your right foot is straight. The left is bent. Enjoying the back bend, and then slowly step your left foot forward. Bend both knees generously with the right knee only hovering a few inches above that mat, and put your hands above in the air for crescent lunge. Strengthening and tightening your belly in your mind and also in real life. Try to squeeze your thighs together to increase the stability. Halfway through the practice is when you want to get sloppy, but just focus on your breathing. You're strong and you can make it through the other side. Rotate to where your right hand is in front of you, left arm behind you into a twist. Then hands go down, and let's do a skandasana on the right side, or, sit down on your right heel. Left leg is fully extended out. Twist forward, let your right foot hover above as you're balancing on your left leg in Warrior 3, or my attempt for Warrior 3. Your hands can go to your chest and at heart center, or you can keep your hands on the ground, whatever helps you practice. Transition now into tree pose. Again, this is where my balance fails me on the second half of practice, but I'm trying and I'm sticking with it. Right foot goes to either your left calf or the inside of your right upper thigh, but never on your knee area. Focus on a point on the wall and just breathing in and out. You're as strong and stable as a tree. Slowly take that right foot and cross it over above the left knee. Your right foot is fully flexed. And then slowly sit back on your hips into standing pigeon. Focus on your right knee going closer to the ground. Foot flex towards the sky to open up that hip. Then lift your right leg up in front of you. If you need assistance and you can't hold your foot up by itself, you can grab your toe or you can grab your ankle. Extend in front of you and then step it back behind you. Both feet are facing forward into triangle pose. Left foot is forward. Lift up, flat back, then extend your body back down over that left knee, fully stretching your left hamstring. If you want to explore the space and explore the different portions of the hamstrings to stretch, walk your hands to the left and right and see what you notice differently. Right hand is down on the ground, left arm goes high in the sky to do a spinal twist. Arm goes in front of you, then down to the ground. Flip over to the short side of the mat, toes pointed inward, heels extended a bit more outward. And lay your head down on the mat to forward straddle fold. If you want to do a handstand, headstand, and it's in your practice and skill level to do so, this would be the time. Or you can just simply sit here, enjoying the stretch. Lift up halfway, flat back. Pivot your heels inside, toes pointing outward. Sit down on your hips into goddess pose. Or for you dancers, second position, grand plie, or in yoga, goddess pose. Strengthening those thigh muscles, hands at heart center. After a few moments, start to bounce up and down. Straighten the legs up. Face the front of the mat. Breathe deeply in, arms high in the sky, meeting in the center. Swan dive down into forward fold. Lift up halfway. Face the short side of your mat. Sit down on your right heel. Extending the left out, flexing the toe. Take your right foot and cross it behind your left. Again, stretching the outsides of our thigh muscles. Push that right foot even further out directly to the left side. Slowly straighten that left leg to get an even deeper stretch in the exact side of your leg. Extend the left arm high in the sky. Then slowly lower arms down. Shorten your stance. Forward fold over crossed feet. Now forward fold ragdoll. Grab your elbows and just hang there for a moment or two. Let's go into a plank position. You can do a 3-legged plank, awkward plank, regular plank, yogi's choice, whatever your body's up to today. Breathe deeply in and deeply out, tucking your tail, pushing the ground away from you. Rock forward slightly, bend those elbows, keep them close to your rib cage. Slowly lower down chaturanga. Hover for a few moments, building strength. Pull up into upward facing dog, then push the hips up and back into downward facing dog. Slowly lower the elbows down into dolphin. Lift up the elbows, transition forward into plank position, slowly lower down chaturanga, push up upward facing dog, and then get into tabletop but push the hips all the way back into child's pose. Catch a wave and curl the spine forward into upward facing dog. Then let's take a moment. I have to readjust my mat. My carpet's a bit slippery. Sit back on the heels a bit, rock forward, and let's kind of backtrack and go backwards in time, back to when we were warming up our wrists. Gently rocking back and forth. Let's spend a little bit of time in a squat position. Tail should be down towards the earth. When ready, slowly sit on your butt. And let's bring our feet parallel to the mat in the air into boat position. Lower down into lower boat, pull up into high boat. Do this a few times. Maybe experiment, put the arms up, pulling back up. Arms up and overhead, a little lower still, pulling back up. Open up the feet and place them down wider than hip level, hands behind you. Push the hips up into converted tabletop. Tighten the buttocks. This feels good for your shoulders. It's a great stretch. Then lower the hips down, but you're going to start swinging. What you want to do is have your hands by your hips, but lift your body weight up. Don't let your butt on the ground. Then swing your hips back up into reverse tabletop, then transition them through, but don't set your butt on the ground. The weight of your body should be supported by your hands. If you can even lift your feet off the mat, you're aces. I can't do that. Do that several times. When ready, release. To release tension, I like to do Sufi grinds at the end of practice. So on your sits bones, make a circle towards the front, side, back, and back again. Now let's just open up our legs wide and try to pancake down. Grab your ankles and slowly lower your chest to the floor. If you can't, lower your chin. Eventually, hopefully, I'll be able to get my chest completely to the ground. Lift back up into the center. Do a few Sufi grinds with your legs widely apart this way, training the groin muscles even more so to increase your flexibility. Now let's do a few shoulder shrugs. This is what you do when life hands you lemons. You shrug it out. Lower yourself down onto your back on the mat and let's go into happy baby. Grabbing the outside of your feet, pulling your knees into your armpits. And just sort of rock around. When ready, straighten the legs. You can straighten one or the other, however it feels best for you. You can try to pull your feet down to the ground, then back into happy baby. Hug your knees and give yourself a hug. Roll up into sitting position. Now let's lay down and release everything. Let your legs be heavy and fall away. Take this time to breathe, completely letting go of all of your body energies. Release fully. Release your body, your mind. You're just an orb floating in space. Whenever you see fit, you can slowly roll on your side and push your upper body up to where you're in a seated position. You can do a bit of meditation practice here. And just take this moment to have gratitude for the ability to take this time. The most precious gift in this world, I believe, is time. And the time that you dedicate fully for yourself and to practice and to let your mind and body become yoked as one is so special. Thank you and have a beautiful day.